This isn't really a long story, but it gave me the creeps. Still makes me dread calling an Uber in fear of seeing this man again. It started one night when I went out with my friends and we walked this big street full of nightclubs in my hometown, up and down until we could find a good place where the beer was cheap. It was a fun night, but it was 4 a.m. before we knew it, and we were drunk enough already. So we ordered 2 Ubers, one for the 2 friends and one for me. They had to go to a thing in the morning, so they decided to stay at one of my friends' houses. And since I was heading the other way, I ordered my Uber separately so it wouldn't be a burden, and I was pretty used to doing it. The streets were pretty empty at the time, and I was sitting down on the steps of an already closed club, waiting among a few other people. Some of them were the workers, so I wasn't really scared until, one by one, they started to leave, and I was the only person there. Pretty much paranoid, I waited at least half an hour for my Uber to arrive and noticed the change of drivers. No big deal. And then I saw the car arriving and jumped in quickly, eager to go home. Now, I'm a talkative drunk. I confess all of my secrets and frustrations to whoever is around me. And that was never a big deal because people normally ignore drunken teens. So as I hopped in the Uber, the driver asked me why I was all alone, and I told him everything about my evening. We started a conversation since the ride was at least 40 minutes from my house. I told him a lot of stuff about my life, about my exes, my dreams, and why I dropped out of uni and everything else. He seemed like a pretty nice dude and told me a few things about his life too, how he was recently divorced and had 2 cats, which I engaged in conversation since I am the Karen of cat moms, and that he was Ubering to save money to move cities. Since it was Sunday, I remembered that I had an appointment with my therapist in the morning and mentally slapped myself for being drunk at 4 a.m. when I had to wake up at 8 a.m. completely ready. So the driver noticed my silence and asked what I was thinking, and I told him. The dude's face went blank. It was creepy as I could see only half of it and started to get anxious over the situation. I can feel bad tension in the air anywhere. He then asked,
"Why do you have a therapist?"
To which I replied that it was because I had to treat my panic disorder. And then he said another thing that was pretty weird, but at the time I brushed it off. Drunk me should never be around creeps.
"You don't need a therapist now that you have me,"
he said, and I only laughed, saying, "Yeah, I guess I don't need her anymore," laughing it off, but he didn't join me. The rest of the trip was silent. Lucky for me, since I was feeling sick already, and I thought that if I was to say anything, I would throw up right there. By the time we arrived to my house, I thanked him and wished him a nice week ahead, to which he turned his head back with a smirk, giving me his card. He was a particular driver too, and said,
"My number is here if you need to talk anytime. Don't go to your therapist."
I remember that scene clearly while I thanked him and hopped out of the car, and he rolled down his window, completing with an
"Otherwise, I'll have to kill her,"
and a laugh. I didn't even bother to stare at him, but as soon as I got inside my house, it all hit me. And gosh, I'm still scared to this day. I'm sure he didn't mean it, but it was still creepy as hell. A few years ago, on a Friday evening during summer, when I was about 15 years old, I was swimming with my boyfriend at the rock pools around the side of the bay. My stuff was on the rocks. The water was warm and everything was well. As the sun set, We climbed up the rocks and watched the sun go down. I was gone from my phone for around an hour, and when I returned, it had gotten dark. My mother had called me several times and had sent messages for me to call her immediately. I had rung her back in a hurry, and she stated the following. I got a phone call on the landline from a private caller. He was a young-sounding man asking you if you were at the rock pool location and repeating, "Where is your daughter? Where's your daughter?" I was shocked and confused. My mother didn't even know I was there. This person had found me on their own. This was definitely not a prank call. Was I being stalked? Was this a threat? Firstly, how did this person make the connection from me to my mother? Her and I don't even share the same last name. How did this individual get her home phone number? A mobile number is easier to access. Thirdly, how did they know where I was, the precise location? At this time it was pitch black and the tide was high. I was crying and running across the rocks back to the main beach. My feet were cut up from the rocks, and the waves crashed on me as I ran across. I never heard further from this person again, but to this day, I wonder who they were. I have never pieced together a plausible answer to exactly what happened and what their intentions were. Any potential explanations or theories are welcome, as it has left me perplexed for years. I went to the movie theater with my male friend today, and before the movie started, went to the bathroom to fix my makeup. While I was putting on my lipstick, some girl stood right next to me, directly watching me put it on, and asked me if I was getting married. I was like, no. Thinking in my head, why would I get married in a movie theater? She asked me if I had lip gloss, and I thought maybe she wanted to borrow my makeup, but then she started to compliment me and made me very uncomfortable. Reminder, she was standing too close to me, had no purse of her own, nothing in her hands, and facing too close to me just to be small talk. Me and my male friend are both Asian, so we might stand out a bit more, and my friend has red hair. The girl looked about 18 or 19. I thought maybe she might be socially awkward or something, I don't know. But then she kept asking me personal questions like if the guy in the red hair was waiting for me, if he was my boyfriend. I just agreed yes. However, she kept asking me more weird questions. I was a bit uncomfortable and tried to walk out, but then another girl in a hijab suddenly blocks my path, and the first girl is like, hey, I found that guy's girlfriend, the one with the red hair. Then they started asking me when we got together. Me, obviously uncomfortable, just wanted to get out of there, and suddenly the girl with the hijab says, "Don't have sex. You shouldn't have sex with him tonight." I'm like, what the heck? Why would you say stuff like that? And I just ran out of the bathroom to my friend, urging him that we just go. However, those two girls followed behind me and started talking to him, saying, "Your girlfriend is so pretty. Are you guys here to watch a movie? Are you guys getting married?" I saw my friend getting uncomfortable as well, so we just told them, sorry, we're busy, and we both ran in to watch our movie. After that, we were thinking how weird those two were. Like, they were obviously not normal. I've been to clubs and bars where I get approached by a lot of drunk girls who say I'm cute, or want to be friends and add Instagram, and I've never thought it was weird. However, I had a weird feeling about these two. I thought maybe they were on drugs, but why would they be on drugs at a movie theater? And why the heck were both of them so close to me and awkward and literally following me? I was just thinking about what if I didn't catch to see the movie and I was waiting for an Uber and these two would be possibly waiting outside for me. Not sure if this was a possible trafficking setup or maybe I'm overthinking. I don't know. My friend felt weird at it too. Those girls' vibes were just off.